All right, hey everyone, welcome to Tellor Dev Call, May 22nd. Not many of us today. Mike and Brenda are over at, what is it, Edcon? Um, you're over there, hit them up. They have a booth, trying to talk to a bunch of developers. Should be a good time. So this week, yeah, we're just kind of working on some integrations, getting some people out the door. We've been putting in a lot of work in the EVM call, doing some cross-chain stuff. That's definitely been fun dealing with all that bytecode. And then I'm going to be working on redoing or kind of updating the safe module this week with Tim. So we got a user who wants to come over and use us for kind of cross-chain governance. So you have how you can do that. So we're gonna figure that out for him, and that'll be good. And then I'm dropping. I'll hold myself to it. I'll drop it tomorrow. EigenLayer paper. So I wrote that nice long paper on like why I don't like EigenLayer, and then Vitalik drops it today, same paper. And I'm like, man, except he's super polite, and he just talks about how it's like, sort of adversarial, bad for the network in general, like Ethereum in general, whenever you have restaking or trying to bloat up the consensus mechanism. I'm nowhere near as nice and go into more of the crypto economic stuff of why it's wrong to build an oracle with restaking. But anyway, look forward to it. Owen, how's things?
Yeah, just working on Parity stuff. I am trying a different cloud provider because DigitalOcean, you have to like ask permission for their larger things, and they haven't like gotten back to me on my support ticket. Anyway, on the like Parity side, they're redeploying their private testnet. They found like a bug Friday. We had a call this morning to go over their change. It's actually pretty cool because the optimization that they're making, maybe we get to use it in a Tellor upgrade. But yeah, that's it for me. I was looking at the upgrade, the flexible staking amount stuff. Again, I was just kind of going through that.
Nice.
Fresh.
Cool. Yeah, and then I had a call Friday with the succinct people, those zero knowledge proofs for consensus on a chain. It's so new, so like I'm like afraid to actually use it in production quite yet. But like if you can make it work, like we're gonna be upgrading the whole Tellor system. It's gonna be awesome. It's just one of those things, like I want like 2 or 3 other people to go like break and get hacked before I trust it. So Ryan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the user checklist and run it by Spuddy and Mike when he gets back. And then also I'm gonna tackle with Tim the IPFS documentation and setup for DataSpecs.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's super exciting. Akram?
I'm taking a crack at building the custom reporter with custom conditions. So I'm going to try to write that.
All right. That'll be fun. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just keep it short today. We have any questions?
Yeah, we did have a question from Chewy. Is there any way to lower Tellor's required verification time for disputes to take place? I mean, it's clearly a very difficult problem with the way that disputes work, but I think that seems like the biggest possible improvement to the system.
See, I would disagree that would be the biggest possible problem. But I think, yeah, so there are, but part of the issue just comes down as far as like what you're trying to secure. So Tellor basically is the longer you wait and the longer you sort of have this, the more secure Tellor is. So Owen's working on something where you can add your own token as a requirement to Tellor. So like you could say, like, in addition, if you want to report on this value, you have to stake 1,000, 100 Tellor tokens, and you have to stake, say, 1,000 of, my Dex coin or something, whatever your project is. And so like, let's say you were on top of, the easiest example is like a derivatives contract where you're betting on prices. So like if you have a betting contract where you're betting on the price of Bitcoin, for instance, how long do you have to wait once that value is submitted? If the value secured underneath that contract is $100, that's less than the current Tellor staking amount. You could read that value instantly because nobody cares. Like, you're because you're going to get slashed after the fact and you're only going to make $100. So like it doesn't, so that would be bad. If you wanted to wait, say 2 minutes, like let's say you were, he's holding $1,000, which is more. The question is okay, well, what are the odds I'm not going to get caught by a dispute bot? And so you would have to weigh those odds. What are the odds that you're not going to get caught? If you have like the other way, like, so you would have to weigh those, what are the odds, or you could stake my DEX token up to, $5,000 worth of that. And now you can just read it instantly. So like, that's the trade-off, and where you play the game. So, you can increase the staking amount and then you can read it instantly. And obviously, like, if you increase the staking amount and then you start playing the game of, well, what are the odds I don't get caught? Now it's a riskier bet you're making, that because if you do get caught, you still get, you get slashed more. So it's a trade-off. But yeah, you either increase the staking amount, or if you have 12 hours, what are the odds you're not going to get caught? Well, it's probably pretty unlikely you're not going to get caught in 12 hours if there's a significant amount of money. So, you just have to, depending on how you play it. But I think that's not necessarily one of the bigger issues. It's just, you can solve it, but most people, like if you're trying to secure $1 billion on chain, like on any of these networks, like if it's an actual open system of reporters, it's super, super hard. Like it's just near impossible to do it instantaneously on a price feed, just because even the consensus mechanism on a lot of, not Ethereum excluded, on a lot of those other networks, you could probably break it, or there's some sort of centralization that could, there's going to be issues with open reporting. So anyway, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, yeah, and if you guys are also out there looking, if you guys want, we're going to start pushing some data specs over to IPFS. We have some contracts up. What's it called? Tellor Registry, something like that, in our GitHub. If you want to go audit those contracts for us, we'll be kind of auditing them and test them. It's relatively simple. So, but more eyes we can get on it, the better. So anyway, thanks everyone. Talk to you guys next week.